So, same-sex marriages now are a step closer in, or marriage rights, I should say, a step closer in the District of Columbia. Also, the state of Vermont, Vermont's House and Senate overrode the veto by the Republican Governor Jim Douglas, the veto of a bill legalizing same-sex marriage in that state. And you know, and so it goes. The 4 states recognizing same-sex marriages now are Massachusetts, Connecticut, Iowa, and Vermont. California did until the right-wing religious crazies got their hands on the, what do you call that, Kathy? The, I want to say plebiscite, but half the audience would know what I'm talking about, the right-wing half. Anyway, it must be rough for these right-wing Christian psychopaths. And they still don't get it. They still don't get it, do they? That they don't have to perform these marriages in their little holy sanctuaries where normal people are told to stay out because they happen to love somebody of the same sex in a way that the Christian nutballs think is, ooh, dirty. You know, where's the live and let live attitude with these bastards? People like Tony Perkins and Phyllis Schlafly and the rest of these pigs who just continue to pump out their form of lying propaganda, just like this crazy man Beck and Limbaugh and the rest of them pump out their political lies. Tony Perkins pumps out the lies regarding folks who happen to be gay. You know, how many times have you heard that old saw, they're going to force our churches to take queer preachers, they're going to force our schools to bring in gay teachers who will teach the children how to become gay. Oh my God, these people make me sick. How did our country produce this kind of roach vermin? How? Tony Perkins today on the News of Vermont. Same-sex marriage, quote, quote, that's the way he wrote it, is a movement driven by wealthy homosexual activists and a liberal elite determined to destroy not only the institution of marriage, but democracy as well. Time and again, we see when citizens have the opportunity to vote at the ballot box, they consistently opt to support traditional marriage. The radical left wants to destroy the traditional union of one man and one woman across the country, and they will not rest until they do so. The marriage amendment movement has been many times more successful than the same-sex marriage movement. Blah! Blah! Jesus God! For the openly gay conservative blogger Andrew Sullivan, the ruling by the City Council in Washington, D.C., while preliminary, is, according to Andrew, quote, enough reason to celebrate, unquote. Andrew Sullivan went on to say, quote, I have a chance to be legally married in the place I live for 8 months of the year. Now, just think for a minute how many heterosexuals have ever asked themselves this question, even immigrating to foreign countries, let alone moving from one state to another. This is enough for me right now. It's been such a long journey, but we can see the mountaintop now, end quote. That's Andrew Sullivan. This is a guy who consistently, as a right-wing, politically conservative right-wing commentator in this country, Andrew Sullivan has done his share to absolutely trample the political and human rights of gay folk. People who are just like him. Why did he do it? Because he's a goddamn opportunist. Now, all of a sudden, Andrew Sullivan has discovered, not now, but a couple of years ago, he discovered that maybe he could get more mileage out of his blogs and columns if he came out of the closet in which he'd been hiding for so many years. Well, good on you, Andrew. I'm glad you decided to support the idea of so-called gay marriage. There is no such thing as gay marriage. Marriage is marriage. If two people want to stand before a representative of the state and decide to form a legal binding contract between the two of them, why do you call it gay or hetero or whatever? It's a marriage. If some freak-ass church doesn't want to recognize, fine. Fine, don't recognize it. How many Christian churches recognize the supremacy of Allah or the teachings of Muhammad? None. So how many freakish churches have to recognize a marriage between two gay people? None. Sit in your sanctuaries and talk to each other and tell each other how morally superior you are. Do that on Sundays.